Welcome to the Super Squad D Nerd News Network President's Day Special. With your hosts, Secretary of Defense Tyler Blunt, Department of the Interior Secretary Joseph Craven. Is that a real title? I don't think that's real. And special guest, 15th President James Buchanan. That's just disrespectful.
And welcome to the Super Squad D Nerd News Presidential Day Special.
Salute you all. Yes, you're joining us live on both Nerd News and Super Squad D simultaneously. Super Squad D, where the D stands for democracy.
That's your host, Fergie.
And that, of course, is former Vice President Spiro Agnew.
And we are going to be treated by a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner as an encore to last night's performance at the NBA All-Star Game by Fergie.
Please, no.
Just to remind everybody, there's a 30-second chat delay, so we're coming at you from the future.
Mm-hmm. And the future is bright.
It sure
That
is.
was, I honestly, I turned on the TV, saw Fergie singing the national anthem, and just turned the TV off and started playing video games instead. I'm a huge NBA fan, and I could not do the NBA All-Star Game just because of that.
Well, it was touch and go for me as well. I had my 3.5-year-old daughter, and we sat down to watch the NBA All-Star Game, and I hyped up the national anthem, and then the Bare Naked Ladies came out and sang the Canadian national anthem, which she got really excited for, and then I had to tell her, like, no, that's not ours. We don't cheer for that. Then
exactly.
Fergie came out, and I was like, it's here we go. It's going to be awesome. And then Fergie started singing, and she was like, and I was like, it's not normally like this. And here we are. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and issue.
I'm sorry, did you actually turn to your daughter and just say, it's not normally?
I literally did
like
say that. Exactly that. You know, I'm going to go ahead and issue the first executive order of this live
Here we go.
show. It's that Fergie and her national anthem are both banned from our channel.
Done. Executive order signed. That's what you do on President's Day. I don't know if everyone watching here on the live stream, whether it be on Super Squad D, I see a few people. Shout out to M. Scotter, Kimmy Jacob, Attack on Louis popping up in this. On this, we're filming this at in the 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Decided to do this.
Time slot. Well, we didn't want to compete against The Price is Right, so we waited till that was over, and we're just getting into the Maury Judge Judy afternoon spot of television. So here we go.
This is it. But yeah, President's Day is our favorite holiday. Huge holiday where we come from.
Yeah.
Everyone gets together and they put on their finest neckties and presidential attire. They sign as many executive orders and official pardons as they possibly can.
And then the night is obviously capped off by a game we like to call True American.
Exactly. The rules are simple. We cannot explain them here because of how complicated they are. That's the main rule.
That's the number one rule. But I tell you what, you don't want to be Sam Adams, and you don't want to fall in the lava.
Exactly. Here's a couple questions for you, Tyler, real quick. What do you one question. Who's your favorite president?
My favorite president of all time has to be Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
I just like the fact that he's got a D in his name because the D stands for something.
Democracy.
Like the Super Squad D, the D stands for democracy.
His name was Franklin Democracy Roosevelt.
It was. It really was. What is
my favorite president? Yeah, my favorite president. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off on that. I just am so excited. My favorite president probably is William Henry Harrison because he didn't play around. He set goals and he achieved them. His goals were become president, did that. Not wear a coat while it's raining, did that. Die like a champ, did that. And he was just done. Like he did everything he wanted to do in a month and was out of there. William Henry Harrison.
That's right. Executive order today. Today's presidential nerd news Super Squad D special is in his honor. Executive order number 2.
There you go. Hey, I like that. Kimmy Jacobs asking about where James K. Polk is.
He's dead up there, but he is dead. Yeah. Wow. I hate to be the one to break this news to you.
Did you not mean like physically where he is? Because in that case, I take it back. I'm so sorry to have ruined that for you.
He's dead.
I should have said spoiler alert. James K. Polk is dead.
Spoiler alert. So we got a lot of news to get into, and we're just going to dive right in lifestyle.
Sure.
The first news story of the day is that, and this is not shocking news to anybody, but Black Panther has had one of the largest opening weekends of all time.
Yep. It's currently on pace. I don't know if it's officially done this or not, but as of like yesterday, it was on pace to get into top 5 opening weekends in movies.
And interestingly enough, it beat out every other superhero movie except for the Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah. As well it should.
That's right.
You know?
As well it should. You know, I think it's the first point that I want to make that it's very interesting to me is that a lot of people, when Black Panther was announced to come out just 3 or 4 months before Infinity War, people were like, oh, no one's going to care about Black Panther. No one will see that movie because everyone's just going to care about Infinity War. It turns out those people were wrong.
Yep. Very wrong. It's, it was picking up a lot of momentum, and people were saying like, pre-sales were saying, oh, it could reach, this number, this number, this number. And it's reaching every single one of those projections, which I think is really interesting because you don't see that happen very often. You really very rarely see somebody pop up, something pop up with, that much hype. And so far live up to hype, getting good reviews, making a lot of money. I'm planning on going to see it in roughly 2 hours.
Nice.
So that's how I'm celebrating my President's Day.
As you
should. Tyler, how are you celebrating President's Day? And also, apologies that apparently YouTube didn't bother updating the information on the live stream as it's going, and it's still claiming that I'm playing Fortnite right now.
Well,
maybe I am.
In some ways, you are. Executive Order number 3, you're playing Fortnite right now.
Yeah. That's
I don't see. No, it's
I don't
done.
see how that. Yeah,
it's done.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
done.
good.
So Black Panther is how I would like to be spending my President Day, but instead I'm just going to be working because presidents got to work.
Oh, that is unpresidential. I'm not working today.
But tonight I'm going to be playing a run through of Super Mario 64, which I'm pretty excited about.
You going to live stream that?
I mean, who knows? Anything can happen, but probably not. But maybe.
Okay.
Anything can happen.
That's fair.
President's Day. Anything
can happen.
So what do you guys think about Black Panther just shattering all the records? Did you expect it? Did you not expect it? Are you happy that it did? I would like to hear from you guys. What do you think about them shattering all the records? And I want to note that the top 5 movies now in this order, well, yeah, I believe in this order, Avengers, Jurassic World, somewhere in there. I don't know the exact order. Avengers, Jurassic World, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and now Black Panther, which just shows us that, God, Disney is crushing it.
Yeah. I believe it goes Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Jurassic World, Avengers.
Okay. So Disney is just like smashing it. Smashing it. And we talked on Nerd News late last week about the fact that Sony actually had an opportunity to purchase the rights to all the Marvel movies, including Black Panther, Avengers, and everything, for a measly $25 million, and they passed.
Yeah. I want to go ahead and issue a pardon here. I want to go ahead before we get too nitpicky with it and pardon Sony officially for that decision.
Okay.
Because they went ahead and said, the only one that we think is worth anything is Spider-Man, which at that point in time was probably true. That people were probably not that interested in going to, a bunch of Marvel movies, but they really would love to see a Spider-Man movie,
Yep.
Like that was true at the time. And Sony did that, and Sony did pretty well with that. Like,
for $10 million, they have more than made their money off of Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to officially pardon Sony before we get too nitpicky.
That is a fair pardon, and I will uphold that as well.
Presidential pardon.
Speaking of Disney and Marvel movies, our next item up on the news block is that Black Widow has had her official movie leaked by actor Chris Evans, who plays Captain America.
Yeah. Apparently I don't know any details on this because you literally told me that this was happening right before we hit live. But this is hilarious because um, the Marvel actors so far have been terrible about revealing stuff.
Yeah, they have been. Well,
And it's raised suspicions about like how much of it was actually, revealed by accident, and how much of it like isn't as, a purposeful plant of like, here's the information. Oh, whoops, it was definitely accidentally released.
mhm.
So what do you think about this? What happened
Well,
here,
it
Tyler?
was in
Fill
an
us in.
interview, and Chris Evans was talking about Black Panther, and he basically was just reiterating the fact that, man, Marvel's got the formula. Like, they know how to do it, and they keep doing it. And he said, Marvel's going to keep doing it with the Captain Marvel movie that's coming out, and then the Black Widow movie that's coming out. And the reviewer was like, Black Widow movie? And he was like, Marvel's awesome. We sure like it here. And he just kept on keeping on. So I think this one was a genuine accident, and I think he will probably try to spin it as like, I meant maybe if they do make a Black Widow movie ever, it will be good. But
Right.
I would take
Maybe.
this as a pretty solid confirmation that we're getting a Black Widow movie.
Yeah. Yeah. If he just throws it out there. Now, granted, it could be like we don't know how much he's involved in the planning process.
Yep.
Maybe he's in there. Maybe he's not at all.
Maybe he
And
doesn't
maybe
know
he
anything, and he's just
exactly.
talking. We got a Week in Geekdom showing up in the chat. Giovanni,
Yeah, we
if you're
do.
not subscribed to his channel, go check it out. It is a
He's a
shocking
champion.
stream today on the presidential stream. And Kevin, I would like you to watch me play Super Mario 64. Is that creepy?
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't feel like that's creepy.
Also, our friend Ryan, aka Stanley, is showing up, and he mentioned that he actually started off on Twitch, which reminds me, I forgot that when we multi-stream, it also goes to Twitch. I forgot that Twitch existed.
Wow.
So
we're just like hitting on a bunch of cylinders right now. I mean,
yep.
That's pretty
Whoops.
fantastic.
Hey, it's President's Day.
It's President's Day. Anything can happen. Miracles even. So
Miracles
in our next news story on the block, we've got the popular fighting game Dragon Ball FighterZ out
Woo.
for the PS4 and the Xbox One, which is phenomenal. It's
Okay.
absolutely phenomenal. It is a true spiritual sequel to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was undoubtedly the best fighting game of all time before Injustice 2 came out. So that puts Dragon Ball FighterZ somewhere at the top of the fighting game genre. It is fantastic, fun.
I mean, are you willing to put it in like top 3? Are you saying that Injustice 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's top 3 for me, for sure. I think that it's really fun because it can be a very technical game where you can really get into the nitty-gritty of combos, but they also make it incredibly user-friendly. Like if you just want to hit square, 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 you can do a nice 75% of what a hard combo worth of damage could be. So they announced their first 2 DLC characters.
Oh, nice. I'm a big fan of square, square, square combo, by the way.
Yeah, you really liked. I've seen you throw in some triangle, triangle, but
I try to avoid that.
You do stick to mostly square, square, square.
When I was a kid on my Nintendo 64, I used to play Madden 64 with the Green Bay Packers. And the only play that I ever called was BBA. And it was some sort of just like, I don't know, I formation, passing route. And for whatever reason, tight end Mark Chimura was always open. And so, like, every time I played Madden 64, it was Brett Favre throwing it to Mark Chimura.
That's pretty fantastic. I'm not
gonna
lie.
And so that was it. That was it for me.
I love that. Well, the first 2 DLC characters announced are the legendary Super Saiyan himself, Brawly.
Yeah.
As well as one of the first Super Saiyans himself, Bardock.
Ooh, interesting.
So both characters super popular in the fandom, coming out strong because they really want to have a good showing with their DLC. I'm looking forward to this year's all the fighting tournaments, the fighting circuit, and seeing how popular and how many pro fighters jump on the Dragon Ball FighterZ tournaments.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to pick up more? Where does that sit in popularity right now as far as tournaments go? I'm just curious because I don't play fighting games.
Well, right now, Dragon Ball FighterZ kind of sits at the top, but a lot of fighters that first come out do. That's what happens with like Injustice 2, and that's what happened with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. But slowly, as the game has been out for a while, the popularity decreases. So the games like Street Fighter, the core Street Fighter games, always remain popular. But most of these other fighters have about a shelf life of 2 years until they really start to die down. So I'll be interested to see how long Dragon Ball Fighters can go. Injustice 2 certainly still got a strong showing almost a year
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah. I mean, and they just dropped Teenage Mutant Ninja
yeah,
Turtles in Injustice 2.
which
Is that
has
true?
to be the absolute best DLC any fighting game has ever dropped.
Hands down. Absolutely. Tyler, I think Ryan wants to get a better look at the poster directly behind you. So why don't you scoot over just a little bit so he can do that? And while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and issue another executive order.
Okay, do it.
President's Day presidential executive order. Tyler's top 3 fighting games all time are now to be universally recognized as the top 3 fighting games of all time.
It feels right.
Yeah.
It does just feel right. I'm going to be honest with you.
No more arguments. I don't care what you say in the live chat. No more arguments.
That's it.
That's my executive order.
All right. And
does Tyler play Tekken? Kevin Sason is asking, does Tyler play Tekken? Do you?
I do
does
not
you?
play. I does not. I did play Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which was a joint effort by, I believe, the creators of Tekken. I don't think Capcom made that game, where they had Street Fighter characters team up and fight off against Tekken characters, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I've never actually played much Tekken.
Okay. Maybe. Ryan just popped up in the live chat and said, sorry, but Shaq Fu was number 1. I'm not disagreeing with you, but Shaq Fu is such an important game that it transcends all genres.
Yep, that's true.
Because it also doubles as a sports game. Yeah. So sports fighting. But my favorite sports fighting game of all time was an obscure little game back on the Super Nintendo or maybe regular Nintendo and Sega Genesis called Arch Rivals.
Nice.
In which it was 2-on-2 basketball, and one button would shoot the ball, another button would punch the other player, and like the last button on the Sega Genesis was a flying leap tackle of the defending player, and that was it.
Well,
the theme song was also solid. It just kind of went doom, 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 doom. And that was pretty much it the whole time.
Fantastic. You know, that actually makes me think we probably should have a little President's Day freestyle session. I mean,
okay.
What do you think? Should we issue an executive order to create a freestyle President's Day special song?
I think you just did. And I think the executive order commands that it be based on top of the Arch Rivals theme song. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that one down.
You drop it.
All right. Boom, boom, boom.
Coming at you live, President's Day 2018. Let's do it. We're chilling here at President's Day with you. You know we do it big. We're gonna do it too, because we're gonna talk about all the nerd news with a Super Squad D crew hanging with you today. It's gonna be fly. It's gonna be funky. When you come with us, you're gonna act like a monkey. Get crazy because you're lazy, making you think you're gonna be like Patrick Swayze. Just kidding, because he did. It's kind of sad, messed up in the head. But Black Panther out of, you know, he can talk to the dead. Bed, head, said, red. I just dropped a lot of rhymes there. President's Day 2018, y'all. There it is.
I wanna hear like a well-respected recording artist finish a song and like finish the song by saying, I just dropped a bunch of rhymes there right there. Just once. Like I just wanted to be like the next Chance the Rapper album, because he seems like if anyone would do it, it'd be Chance. Chance would be the one who would just casually comment about how many rhymes he threw in at the end of his song.
He just dropped as many rhymes as possible, and then just is like, I just threw in a bunch of. I think that's how I'm gonna end all my raps. Every rap from here on that I do is just gonna be a bunch of rhymes, and to be like, I just threw in a bunch of rhymes, y'all. That's it.
There's a group of friends when I guess I was in college that when we were bored, we'd get together and we'd record our own raps. And all of them were terrible. But for whatever reason, I was obsessed with being as wordy as I possibly could.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So like everyone else would have like really like witty jokes that they'd make in their raps and all. And then I'd pop up and it just would be way too many syllables crammed into one line. And it was terrible. It was bad.
Awesome.
It was bad.
Well, on our last news story that we're going to talk about here on this,
I forgot we had news.
I know, it's ridiculous. On the last news story, this past weekend was 20 Fair. 20 Fair? 2018. This past weekend was 20 Fair Toy 18, and of
Hey,
course, at 20 Fair,
executive order. That's its new name.
yeah,
20 Fair 2018.
I mean, it just feels right. Well, at 20 Fair, they announced a lot of new Marvel Legends action figures. All kinds of action figures got released, but the Marvel Legends especially just crushed it this year. We got a new Wolverine coming in a tank top on a bike, like we get a bike accessory, a new Elektra, a Doc Ock that fans have been wanting forever, a classic Doc Ock.
How many Electras are you going to buy?
Probably 18.
Okay.
One for
Toy
every
18?
copy of the movie I have. Toy 18, that's right. We're getting a new Silver Surfer, as well as a first-time figure of Cloak and Dagger. And finally, we're getting a symbiote line that's going to come out around the time of the Venom movie drops, which is pretty cool. Yep. All these different symbiotes. And to cap it all off, we're getting a Thing action figure, which is, of course, going to finish out the Fantastic Four, finally in updated version of the Fantastic Four.
Nice.
So it's a big news weekend there for Toy Fair 2018.
Yeah. I believe you mean 20 Fair 2018.
20 Fair 2018.
Scott says he's going to try to go to 20 Fair maybe in February 2019.
Dude, that would be fantastic. We should all plan a trip to 20 Fair, I think.
I'd be down with that. Executive order. We're all going.
Everyone in the chat is going.
That's how we're celebrating President's Day in 2019.
That's it.
Ryan says that White Men Can't Rap should be the sequel to the basketball movie White Men Can't Jump with Tyler playing Woody Harrelson's character. I actually would rather see Tyler and Woody Harrelson work together on a rap album.
I think it could be fantastic. There'd be a lot of Hunger Games / Cheers references.
Right.
If any of you of that,
if referencing Ted Danson is what you call it. If any of you know Woody Harrelson, let him know that we want to make a rap album with him.
That's it.
Yep.
Out, Woody Harrelson in.
Exactly. Woody Harrelson will be singing the national anthem on the next SSD episode. That's just going to happen.
It is.
No questions asked. Tyler, something I didn't realize until I saw the figures from 20 Fair is that apparently this year marks the 30th anniversary of Venom.
Yeah, it does.
So that appears to be why they're making the movie or something, which means that Venom and I are the same age.
Unbelievable. You were born the same year Venom was born.
Apparently so. According to that. Now, I haven't fact checked that, and I'm sure there will be a bunch of people in the comments.
Oh, we'll get our fact checkers on it. Don't
jump in and just like, actually, Venom was introduced here, and also your Batman video sucks, and so.
You know that Batman video has like 150,000 views by now, which is insane.
And it got the most recent comment I noticed when I was setting up the streaming and stuff. Somebody said, "Slow down, lay off the caffeine or meth or something like that," and I was like, "Okay,
I'll do it." You taught me to do it. All right, well, that about wraps up our President's Day special here at Super Squad D Nerd News, where the D stands for democracy.
And the Nerd News stands for that's pretty self-explanatory. Nerd News. Yeah, we're simul-streaming. That's a term I just invented. Executive order. That term is mine.
Hashtag trademarked.
Trademarked. Nerd News is our newest endeavor on the YouTubes. If you're not following us there, please go ahead, look that up. And you could see, I think it's, no, that's the direction I should be pointing.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. Nerd News, because alliteration is awesome. That's where daily we put up the top about 5 or 6, nerd news headlines that are going on that day, whether it's covering comic news. Well, basically everything that we covered here in this episode.
Yeah.
And we try to make it about a quick 10 minutes so you can get your news briefing in the morning and move about your day. But comics, movies, games, TV, all that sort of stuff. If you're not following us, if you're not subscribed to Nerd News, go over there and do that. That's all I had. That was my plug.
That's it. That's a great plug. And stay tuned because we got that hot Spider-Man top 5 costume video coming any day now.
Any day now.
Could drop it.
Oh, man. Oh, so good. Hey, thanks for joining us on this quick little sort of impromptu President's Day special.
That's right.
The greatest holiday. I hope everyone has a great President's Day. Go out there, hug your loved ones.
That's it.
Official, issue official pardons to your loved ones.
And for the
All the crimes committed.
love of all that's good, play True American.
You're right. Do it. Do it today.